Members of the Sikh Memorial Fund, General, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my very great pleasure as Her Majesty's Lord Lieutenant of Staffordshire to welcome you here today to the National Memorial Arboretum. This site was opened in 2001. It covers 150 acres and involves 50 permanent staff who are supported by over 200 volunteers. The site contains some 30,000 maturing trees and annually is visited by 300,000 people. In fact, recently, last month now, we welcomed our 2.5 millionth visitor. Although there are now over 300 memorials here, the original concept always was that any organisation, any group for whom remembrance of contributions made was important could find the opportunity to locate that here. And so I think it is particularly appropriate that today we're unveiling a fitting tribute to the 130,000 or so Sikh servicemen who fought in the British and Indian Army in World War I. I would like to thank you for inviting me to be here, and I'm going to hand over now to the chairman of the Sikh World War I Memorial Fund and the creator of the memorial, Mr. Jai Singh Sohal. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long journey, but we finally made it. Who knew that what began in January 2014 with a request for information about Sikh war uniforms from a keen sculptor to a filmmaker would lead to the creation of the UK's first World War I Sikh Memorial. Thinking back over the past 2 years, we held our breaths and took many giant leaps to where we are today. It started with a challenge. Instead of developing a 6-inch figurine, why not a 6-foot granite one? Let's make it bronze. Let's put it where people will go to remember. Let's crowdfund the monument online. And when we successfully raised more than £22,000 to begin the process, the creativity did not stop just there. Make the turban bigger, I would often say. Make the beard flow longer. The Subedar began to take shape. This endeavour could not have been possible without trust and dedication within our small team, based on a mutual respect for and desire to see honoured the memory of Sikhs who served our country during the war. For that, I am truly grateful to have worked with some truly creative people, our designer and sculptor Mark Bibby, Fine Art Foundry Sculptor Castings, and our stonemasons G.A. Cannell Memorials. Mark and Simon, I'd like to shortly ask you to step forward, and I'd like to ask Major General Patrick Sanders to come and present you with a token of our gratitude for all you have done for the Sikh community. Mark, Simon. I'd also like to thank on behalf of the Sikh community, the National Memorial Arboretum, and all its volunteers and officers who have, over the past 18 months, advised and helped us develop our plans. The unveiling of the nation's first monument dedicated to the memory of Sikhs who served during World War I is an historic moment in British Sikh history, but it has taken far too long to get here, not least because we as a community have made a remarkable contribution to Britain over the past 150 years. Not just in the military, but within every section of our society, industry, the arts, business, sport, culture, charitable endeavour. We are a colourful, vibrant and exuberant community, known for our charity and our warmth of heart. But where would we be without the gallantry and sacrifice of our forebears, who a century earlier left their homes in the Punjab to venture far afield in search of adventure and to live as their gurus had instructed and told them to do so, with their duty as a martial race in fighting tyranny at the heart of their thoughts. This is reflected in the words of signaller Kartar Singh from Ludhiana, who rode home from France in January 1916 in what for me sums up why Sikhs fought and why we should never forget them. We shall never get such another chance to exalt the name of race, country, ancestors, parents, villages and brothers, and to prove our loyalty to the government. I hope we shall renew our Sikh chronicles. Do not be distressed, such hardships come upon brave men. What is fated must be endured. I pray to God to give us a chance to meet the foe face to face. To die in battle is a noble fate. Today we are indeed renewing our Sikh chronicles with the unveiling of our memorial. It will inspire people from all walks of life well into the future, and it will fill our own children and grandchildren with confidence in their faith and identity to undertake great deeds. You will shortly hear from Bhai Sahib Dr. Mahinder Singh about Sikh Dharam, after which our patron Peter Singh Verdi from the Verdi Foundation will highlight the importance of charitable endeavour. Then we are honoured to be hearing from a senior British officer, Major General Patrick Sanders, CBO DSO, about Sikh military service in the past as well as in the present. But before we leave for the unveiling site, you will be in no doubt just what this memorial means. Please promote it far and wide. Take photos, take a selfie, and encourage as many people as you can to visit here and to remember the deeds of our glorious ancestors. Thank you very much.
Brothers and sisters, a Sikh. The word Sikh means to learn. So we are lifelong learners. We don't have another label for our religion. Sikhi, Sikhya, Guru Vichar. We are very distinct people. Saint soldiers. How do you understand a saint soldier? Somebody who is compassionate. A compassionate, a forgiving soldier. That is us. Very distinct but very humble. We have to be utterly humble. That's what we have been taught. There are some key messages. And we always try to answer 3 questions. Where have we come from? What are our roots? What is our origin? Where are we going? What is our destination? Kithon upje, keh rahe, keh mahe samawe. So where did we come from? I'm born in Africa, not Africa I come from. Where does my spirit come from? Because that is me. My soul is me. Where does it come from? Har jot rakhi tud vich taan tu jag mein aaya. I got detached from God. I am part of God. That is my origin. What is my destination? What is my goal? I am going back there. So, what am I supposed to do here? So we have some messages within our dharma. We prefer to call religion dharma. Dharma is responsibility. Responsibility towards God, responsibility towards kith and kin, responsibility towards all creation. That is my dharma. The word religion does not translate dharma adequately. So, we are advised first and foremost to remember God. Remember God all the time. Why should you remember God? Well, you are going there. You came from there. That is your goal. That's your ultimate destination. Naam japo. That's what is said. Naam is a word for God. Remember God. Whatever you do, remember Him, because if you forget Him, you'll be in trouble. We are connected with God and we are dependent to God in a vertical context. And in a horizontal context, we are connected to people and things, and we are also dependent on things. So there is interconnectivity and there is interdependence. So we say, you should remember God all the time, because that's where you came from, that's where you're heading. You earn your living through hard work, but remember Him is called kirt. The word is kirt. If you work hard for 365 days, you never remember God, you have not done kirt. Kirt is working in God's presence. And then you will be a righteous person. So that's the second one. Naam japo, kirt karo, vand shako. Because we are interconnected, interdependent. You have to share with others. 1/10 of your hard-earned earnings you must share with others. Your knowledge you must share with others. And so on. Share with others lovingly. Benevolence has to be exercised, not charity. You are not superior. You are not doing anybody a favor. That is your responsibility. Sarbat da pala. You ask for the welfare of everybody. No exceptions. Sarbat da pala. Sing and listen to God's praises. We call it kirtan. We do a lot of it, kirtan. Have unconditional love for all. Sach kaho sun leo sabay jin prem kiyo tin hi prabh payo. I'm quoting from Guru Granth Sahib Ji, from the Bani of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Sach kaho sun leo sabay jin prem kiyo tin hi prabh payo. Practice utter humility. Nicha andar neech jaat, nichi hoon at neech. Jithe neech Somalian, uthe nazar teri bakshish. The word ego, edging God out. Not very good, because we are people of God. So, practice humility, not ego. Be merciful and forgiving. I quote a verse, Kabir. Kabir, jahan gyan tahan dharma hai, jahan jhoot tahan paap, jahan lobh tahan kal, jahan khima tahan aap. Kabir, where there is wisdom, there is religion or dharma. is not something abstract. These are not fairy tales. Religion is very, very strong, is very powerful. But you got to understand, you have to be wise to understand what religion is all about. Kabir, where there is wisdom, there is religion or dharma. Where there is deceit and there are lies, there is sin. Where there is greed, there is famine, death and destruction. And Kabir, where there is forgiveness, there is God Himself. The shortest route to get to God is to forgive people. These are some of the teachings of the Sikh Dharma. Sikh Dharma teaches us we are created in God's image. So we should have godly virtues and qualities. Otherwise, we are not created in God's image. What good is a phantom of a person? So we have a gold standard. The first one, daya. You have to be merciful. Sat. You have to be truthful. Santok. You have to be content, devoid of yearning for more and more and more and more. Nimarta. You have to be humble. And you have to be loving. 5 fingers, 5 principles. And opposed to these are lust, karodh, revenge. It's good to be angry. It's natural to be angry, but revenge will destroy you before it will destroy anybody else. Greed, attachment. This world is, we are informed, a virtual reality. It's not really real. We are born, we die. Each one of us. Death is certain. Where do we go? And what happens to all that is here? So what do we plan? How do we plan for the life hereafter? So our dharma explains and advises us. Remember Him. Do good things. Be a good human being. A good citizen may not necessarily be a good human being, but a good human being will be a good citizen. Law does not inspire you to become a good human being, only requires to not violate law. But dharma, religion, inspires you, motivates you to become a good human being. So there are many, many contradictions you see. You see distinct fraternity of brotherhood, the Khalsa. But it is all within a very wise context. Thank you. That's Sikh Dharma.
And now to introduce our patron, Mr. Peter Singh Verdi.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Sri Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable and distinguished guests, Bhai Sahab Ji, General, I welcome you all here today to the unveiling of the National World War I Sikh Memorial. This is not just a special day for the Sikhs, it's a special day for all the relatives and friends whose loved ones participated in World War I. What Jai Singh Saul and his team has achieved today is an amazing task, which I think the whole Sikh nation should be proud of. We need more people like Jai in our community who are willing to donate their time and selfless service and work without any agenda to preserve and maintain our history, our culture. So it is very important for anybody or all Sikhs to support the likes of Jai, putting aside our egos, our political beliefs, our personal agendas, and working for the one cause. A quote comes to mind when I say this: "Until the lions write their own history, the tale of the hunt will always glorify the hunters." So it's very important for us to write our own history and to deliver our own message and maintain that. I've known Jay for a number of years, and I've admired his work. That includes Turbanology, Saragari, The Forgotten Battle, and he has done some amazing pieces over the time. As the chairman of the Verdi Foundation, it is a personal mission for me to support any Sikh youth in his journey or her journey to achieve their goal. And I urge us all to take a similar contribution or a commitment, which may not just be in the form of a monetary assistance. It can be in an advisory capacity, a mentoring role, or even sharing your knowledge, or just being there for the people or the youth of our nation. It is important that we support our own. As the saying goes, charity begins at home. And Jay approached me about a year ago with regards to the World War I Memorial. I was very fascinated, and I thought, this is very good. Will Jay be able to pull it off? But having a look at seen his track records, I thought we must believe in him and support him. I took the idea and the proposal to the board, and the board wholeheartedly supported this and said we should support Jay in everything he does. The Verdi Foundation is a charity that supports education, abused women, abused children, and other great causes around the world. We do not actively fundraise. All the funds are contributed by the Verdi family or donors who have seen the good work of the foundation and have decided to contribute on their own accord. We don't go out and create new missions or new charities. We support existing causes that are out there and support charities that are doing good work. I feel it is important for me as a Sikh to participate in Seva, as Bhai Sabji very clearly set out the main principles of Sikhi. So as a Sikh, I felt it's very important for me to participate. For the benefit of those who do not understand or do not know the meaning of Seva, I will describe it in a few words. Seva refers to work or services performed without any thought or reward or personal benefit to the person delivering Seva. Seva within the Sikh community comes in many forms. We have langar halls in our gurdwaras, which serve free meals to any caste or creed every day, and to the tune in some gurdwaras over 100,000 meals a day. Working in the wider community as volunteers for the vulnerable in hospitals, helping old people, working in charities, and also taking care of our own and our loved ones within their homes. I believe that anyone or anybody can offer his service or her service depending on their skill set. For me, it has come in a form of the Verdi Foundation and mentoring young people in business and in their daily lives. And I hope we all take from this today what Jay and his team have done to set out a message for the wider community that is very important. And just before I finish, a quote comes to mind: "He who serves selflessly will always be remembered." On that note, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.
We're here today to pay tribute to the sacrifice, the selfless commitment, the courage and the heroism of the 130,000 or so Sikhs who fought alongside their British comrades in World War I. It's worth reflecting that Sikhs at that time only made up 2% of the Indian population, but 22% of the army itself. They served on 4 continents in every theatre of war: France, Flanders, Mesopotamia, Egypt, Palestine, in Gallipoli, in East Africa, in Persia, and on the northwest frontier and in Burma. In both wars, there were 83,000 Sikh soldiers killed and 109,000 wounded in action. Some examples: at Neuve-Chapelle in 1915, the Sikh regiment lost 80% of its manpower. At Gallipoli, the 14th Sikhs lost 371 officers and men in a matter of minutes. These statistics are staggering, and they're humbling. So we should pause to reflect on the terrible sacrifice made by men from the subcontinent, fighting far from home, for a distant country and for a distant cause. But we should reflect too on their courage. Being Sikh warriors, it's their glory, it's their courage and their loyalty that they would want honoured, their achievements and not merely their sacrifice. And that's something that is difficult sometimes for the modern generation to understand. So I'll take the words which really encapsulate the spirit of the Khalsa by Dufadar Nathan Singh from the 2nd Lancers, writing in 1915 to a fellow Sikh soldier back in India. I think it captures that spirit. The Sikh roars like a lion on the field of battle and yields up his life as a sacrifice. Whoever is fortunate enough to be born a Rajput never fears the foe in battle. He gives up all thought of worldly pleasure and dreams only of the battlefield. He who dies on the field of battle, his name never dies, but lives in history. He who fronts the foe boldly in battle has God for his protection. Once a Sikh takes the sword in hand, he has only one aim: victory. Their courage is the spirit of legend, stuff of legend. Think of the platoon of Dogra Sikhs at Ypres in 1914 who fought to the last man, and the last man, rather than dishonour himself with surrender, took his own life with his last bullet. Think of Sapar Dalip Singh, who stood over his fallen officer, Lieutenant Rail Kerr, fought off countless Germans, and then carried him to safety. Think of Lieutenant Smith and his 10 Sikh bombers at Festubert, crawling through a torrent of lead to accomplish their mission. That party gained the Victoria Cross, the Indian Order of Merit, the equivalent of the Victoria Cross, and a Distinguished Service Medal for every soldier. There are countless stories of the courage of the Black Lions, as the Arabs of Mesopotamia called them. All are true to the spirit of the 21 Khalsa warriors who held off thousands of Afghans at the fort at Saragari. This record of courage and of fighting ability is unique. We first met at war, but a unique respect for each other's courage, skill, and determination gave birth to a long and proud shared military heritage. That heritage of Sikh service to the Crown is humbling, courageous, and inspiring. It goes on today, and I'm proud to serve alongside British and Indian Sikhs in the British Army today. This Sikh martial prowess is needed by the country as much today as ever. The world's a dangerous place. I don't need to tell you. You only have to look at the news and to read the newspapers. We face some truly implacable enemies, and our security can never be guaranteed. To face these challenges, we need the country's best talent, but we also need to represent all communities and all faiths in the UK. So as a personal plea, I ask you to encourage young Sikh men and women, just as their forebears did, to volunteer, to serve and to defend the country of their birth in the regulars or in the reserves, just as Jay does, as officers or in the ranks, but especially as officers. We need their talent, we need your traditions, which I believe are consistent with those of the British Army. In turn, we'll make you proud of them and give them skills for life. So thank you for honouring the memory of our Sikh brothers in arms with this memorial. And I think there's no more fitting way to close this address than the words of General Sir Frank Messervy, which are written on the Sikh Memorial at Ypres. Finally, we that live on can never forget those comrades who, in giving their lives, gave so much that is good to the story of the Sikh regiment. No living glory can transcend that of their supreme sacrifice. May they rest in peace. In the last 2 world wars, 83,000 turban-wearing Sikh soldiers were killed and 109,045 were wounded. They all died or were wounded fighting for the freedom of Britain and the world, and during shell fire with no other protection but the turban, the symbol of their faith. Bole so nihal. It's an enormous privilege for me to represent the British Army here, to unveil this war memorial, First World War Memorial, to the Sikhs who served and who fell in the First World War. Their sacrifice, but above all their courage and their heroism, has become the stuff of legend, and it is entirely appropriate that we honour that with this memorial, and I hope elsewhere in the country too. Thank you for inviting me to do this honour.
में सरबत खालसा जी की अरदास है जी। सरबत खालसा जी को वाहिगुरु 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 चित आवे, चित आवन का सदका सर्ब सुख होवे। जहाँ जहाँ खालसा जी साहिब तहाँ तहाँ रक्षा रियायत, देग तेग फतेह बिरद की पैज पंथ की जीत। श्री साहिब जी सहाय खालसा जी के बोल वाले बोला जी। सिखा नू बख्शो जी सिखी दान, केस दान, रहत दान, विवेक दान, विसाह दान, भरोसा दान, दाना सिर दान, नाम दान। श्री अमृतसर जी के दर्शन स्नान, चौकियाँ झंडे बुंगे जुग जुग अटल, धर्म का जयकार बोला जी। सिखां दा मन नीवा मत उच्ची, मत का रखा वाहिगुरु है काल पुरख, अपने पंथ दे सदा सहाय दा तार जियो। श्री ननकाना साहिब ते होर गुरुद्वारियां गुरधामां दे जिन्हां तो पंथ नूं विछोड़िया गया है, खुले दर्शन दीदार ते सेवा संभाल दा दान अपने प्यारे प्यारे खालसा जी नूं बख्शो जी। हे निमाणियां दे मान, निताणियां दे तान, निओटियां दी ओट, निआसरां दे आसरे सच्चे पिता वाहिगुरु जी। धन धन साहिब श्री गुरु नानक देव जी महाराज, धन धन साहिब श्री गुरु गोबिंद सिंह जी महाराज, धन धन साहिब श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी, जागदी जोत अंग संग वाहिगुरु जी। श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी महाराज आप जी का कोटान कोट शुकराना है सच्चे पातशाह जी। आप जी का कोटान कोट शुक्र है वाहिगुरु, आप जी ने प्रेरणा दे के उद्यम कराए हैं सच्चे पातशाह जी। आप जी के सेवकों कोलों आप जी ने सेवा लई है वाहिगुरु जी। अज दे दिन सच्चे पातशाह जी सारियां संगतां आप जी दे हजूर बेनती शुकराना करन आईयां वाहिगुरु जी। उन्हां दी याद मना रहे हैं जिन्हां ने अपनी कुर्बानी दे के सच्चे पातशाह जी सारे कौम दी सारे पंथ दा नाम उच्चा किया, जिन्हां ने अपनियां जानां दूसरिਆਂ ਲਈ ਵਾਰ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ, जिन्हां ने संत सिपाही बन के दिखाया, जिन्हां ने सानू सारिਆਂ ਨੂੰ प्रेरणा ਦਿੱਤੀ कि ਅਸੀਂ सच्ची सुच्ची सिक्खी कमा के दूसरिਆਂ ਨੂੰ अपने अगे रख सकीए सच्चे पातशाह जी। उन्हां ने सिक्खी कमाई और सानू भी सिक्खी कमाण दी प्रेरणा बख्शी। उन्हां दी याद च अज इत्थे इकट्ठे होए हाँ वाहिगुरु जी। कोटान कोट शुक्र है सच्चे पातशाह जी जो आप जी ने प्रेरणा दित्ती सच्चे पातशाह जी। अज उन्हां दी यादगार पहली यादगार वो सिखां लई जिन्हां ने पहली वर्ल्ड वॉर दे विच सच्चे पातशाह जी अपनियां जानां वारियां, उन्हां दी यादगार सच्चे पातशाह जी अज इत्थे उन्हां दी यादगार लई इकट्ठे होए हाँ। कृपा करनी सच्चे पातशाह जिन्हां ने भी इस सेवा दे विच हिस्सा पाया सच्चे पातशाह, जिन्हां नूं आप जी ने प्रेरणा दित्ती है कि ये सच्चे पातशाह जी काम कर सकन, उन्हां नूं सारिआं नूं चढ़दी कला बख्शणी वाहिगुरू जी। जिन्हां ने भी मनो तनो धनो हिस्सा पाया उन्हां नूं चढ़दियां कला बख्शणियां, गुरसिੱਖੀ जीवन बख्शना, होर भी उद्यम ते प्रेरणा बख्शना कि होर भी पंथ की सेवा कर सकन, कौम दी यादगारां बना सकन सच्चे पातशाह, जो आने वाले बच्चों लई एक इंस्पिरेशन बन सके सच्चे पातशाह जी। कोटान कोट शुकराना सच्चे पातशाह जी। मेहर करना जो भी भुल्लां होईयां सच्चे पातशाह जी उसनूं बख्श लेना, कृपा करना सानू सारिआं नूं जो भी इत्थे इकट्ठे होए हैं सारिआं नूं गुरसिੱਖੀ जीवन बख्शना, चढ़दी कला बख्शना, सच्ची सुच्ची सिक्खी कमाण दे वाहिगुरू जी कृपा करनी, आप बख्शिश करनी सच्चे पातशाह। मेहर करना पंथ नूं चढ़दी कला बख्शना, इसे तरह संगतां नूं इकट्ठियां करदे रहना। आप जी दे सिख पढ़दे सुनदे सरबत लान होण जी। नानक नाम चढ़दी कला तेरे भाणे सरबत दा भला। बोले सो निहाल। सत श्री अकाल। ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
It's a hugely significant event. The record of service, of courage and of sacrifice of the Sikhs in the First World War is really second to none. 130,000 served, young men from the subcontinent thrown into a war that they probably knew nothing about, and yet their courage and their loyalty to the Crown was quite remarkable. So it's hugely important that we pay tribute to the sacrifice and their courage alongside that of their British comrades. I think that the Sikh community understands how the sacrifice, the courage and the martial spirit that their forebears showed is very consistent with the traditions of today. And I would very much hope that this serves as both as a reminder of the sacrifice that was made in the past, but also the importance of service today.
The whole of these centenary commemorations for the First World War have reminded us what a huge range of contributions there have been from lots of communities. And as far as I'm concerned, the Arboretum should reflect all of those. So I think today, by having the Sikh Memorial honouring the contributions and the commitments that were made by the Sikh community is a gap that's now been filled. And I think it'll be widely received by all the visitors. I think some of the younger generation certainly will be surprised, because I think we have forgotten more than we should have done about those contributions. It's a little known fact that the first casualties in the First World War were Indian. And so, yes, I think there will be some who are surprised, but there will be others who probably once knew that and have since forgotten it. So I think there's a twin benefit.
In order to perpetuate the rich Sikh legacy, you've got to have a memorial. So this is why it is relevant to have memorials. We are very distinct. Very special, very humble. But a lot of people don't know about the Sikhs. So it is through memorial also you are able to portray what we have been doing. They say we have made history, we have not written history. And through these memorial setups, we are able to unfold a bit of history as well. I think it's a foggy day today. So, ਇੱਕ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਧੁੰਦ ਜਗ ਚਾਨਣ ਹੋਇਆ. So there has been
lot of fog today. Some clearance is coming about now. And in a metaphorical manner, people will know a bit more about the Sikh now.
I think it's very important, not just for the Verdi Foundation of me as an individual, I think it's very important for any Sikh to support such a wonderful cause like this, because what this does is set the foundations for the coming generation. So it's important we build on this. It's very important. Why it hasn't been done before, I don't know. I think it's important that it is done. More of this needs to be done. More education or more knowledge needs to be put out there and shared. It can become very selfish when people have this knowledge and don't share it amongst our community, our religion, or even the youth of our community, and actually the world at large. I think the Verdi Foundation is very honoured and they feel privileged to be part of this major event today, the Unveiling. And I think the Verdi Foundation will continue supporting such events like this.
Well, this monument means a great deal to us as Sikhs and the wider community. It's here in the National Memorial Arboretum that we've unveiled this monument of a Sikh. For all the sacrifices that the Sikhs have made in support of Great Britain, I think we need to be truly grateful to our forefathers who have made all those sacrifices. We are here because what they have done in our past. So it's a huge honour to be here today.
Okay, this monument is extremely important. We've now come to the centenary of the Great War, and it's almost like the culmination of everything that's happened over the past 12 months. We've seen various different events. Just recently we've also had a celebration or a memorial of Sarangari as well, and this is like the culmination of all those events. And it's a great commemoration to all those Sikhs, not just the First World War either, in the Second World War, and the Sikhs that have lost their lives in other conflicts, for the United Kingdom.
It's not the monument itself that represents something, it's the journey that it takes people on. The fact that people now understand that there was a Sikh contribution, a significant Sikh contribution to the First World War, and that a conversation has been started by this entire process is key. But moreover, it's the fact that it leaves a legacy, not just for us, not for those that went before us, but for the future generations. So my children and my grandchildren can come here and recognise the contribution that their forefathers made to the freedoms that we've enjoyed and we hope that we will continue to enjoy. And the Sikhs that serve in the armed forces today, it gives them somewhere to come and remember what it means to be a Sikh and serve the country that you live in with, and the dignity that goes along with that.
In World War I and World War II, so many sacrifices have been made by Sikhs, and the effort and sacrifices made by them has been recognized and appreciated, which is really good effort done by the British Army. And I am walking on the same path on which our forefathers went through, and it is actually quite inspirational for me as well, just to look up to them that yes, they did that, and drawing inspiration from them actually. That's why it's really close to my heart.
For me, I think remembrance is a huge part, and it makes me immensely proud to remember all those soldiers, not just Sikh soldiers, every year through Remembrance Weekend. But specifically in terms of this monument, makes me feel extremely proud as a Sikh that we are seeing some formal recognition of Sikhs who lost their lives during the World Wars. And yeah, I mean, some of the statistics are just mind-blowing about Sikhs only making 2% of the population, yet they made 22% of the contributions to the army of the Indian forces, and that's just a huge and mind-blowing number. So it makes me really proud to see a monument here today, And again, as a Sikh growing up in the UK, I didn't see any Sikhs on TV or the media, or it was very much just keep quiet, and there wasn't a face to Sikhs. And now there's been a huge media outpour, so many things going on, and it makes me really proud to unveil, or just to help unveil things like this. And really, for centuries to come, hopefully we'll be standing here, and so many people will be looking at it who are from a non-Sikh background, and be interested to find out more, and appreciate and remember and have a mutual respect for Sikhs even more than they do right now.